The man with the scar. When Detective Paul Nichols asked the teller at the Middleton Bank to describe the robber, she replied, "He had a long, ugly scar on his right cheek." She explained that the man had come into the bank that morning and stood in line with the other customers. When he reached the window, he handed the girl a piece of paper that had written on it, "Do not say anything or do anything unusual. I have a gun, and will use it if I have to. Put $5,000 in an envelope and hand it to me." The teller did exactly as he told her. Then, he walked casually out of the bank. The teller sounded the alarm, and immediately the guards ran to find the thief. You can't mistake him with that scar, but be careful. He has a gun. A thorough search was made, but no such person was found. "I can't understand how he could get away so rapidly," Detective Nichols told his wife Nancy that evening. "No one saw a man with a scar on his face." "What time of day was it?" Nancy asked. "Noon." The streets were filled with people. He could get lost in the crowd very easily. The men on the police force insist he just disappeared. With a scar on his face? He didn't disappear, but what did he do? After 10 years of being a detective's wife, she ought to know the ropes, and she did. That's what is so confusing. We looked high and low and questioned everyone in the area. Several people admitted they saw a man come out of the bank about that time, but he didn't have a scar on his face. Paul shook his head. "Have you taken into account," Nancy asked, "the possibility that the thief wanted the teller to see his scar, that he was just leading her on?" "What?" asked Paul. "Why should he want her to see it? It would be an excellent way to describe him. Just the opposite. He would want to hide the scar. As you say, it's an excellent way to describe him. And that's exactly what he wanted. That way, the police would be looking for a man with a scar on his right cheek." Nancy replied. "What are you trying to say, Nancy?" She did not reply. She simply peeled off one of her false eyelashes. "What was this all about?" "Of course," he shouted. "Why didn't I think of that?" 5 minutes later, he was in his car, hurrying to the police station. The chief of police listened closely as Detective Nichols revealed his wife's discovery. When Paul had finished, the chief turned on his radio. He gave a detailed description of the man with the scar, except that this time he did not mention a scar. The police made short work of capturing him. They had their man within 24 hours. Shortly afterward, they had his confession. He was an actor without work, desperate for money. This was his first crime. As an actor, he knew how to disguise himself well. He was very clever. He had come into the bank with the other customers, gone to the washroom, and put a thin strip of transparent material on his cheek. The material gave the appearance of a real scar. Then he had gone to the teller's window and taken the money. When he stopped to light a cigarette, he quickly peeled off the scar, just as Nancy had done with her false eyelash. The guard at the door and the people outside saw no one with a scar because there was no such person. The thief had walked quietly down the street in the middle of the noonday crowd, the money in his pocket. But unfortunately for him, he had bitten off more than he could chew. In the end, he was caught.